You've opened the tab. You've watched the videos. Maybe you've got 3 different apps downloaded and a notes folder full of things you meant to do. But you still haven't actually started. And honestly, that makes complete sense. There is so much noise out there about the right way to invest that doing nothing can start to feel like the safe choice. In this video, we're going to talk about why that feeling is costing you and what to do instead. No overwhelm, no complicated steps, just one simple idea that could change how you think about money forever. Here's the thing that nobody really talks about. Most people who never get started with investing aren't lazy. They're not irresponsible. They're actually trying really hard, reading articles, comparing options, asking questions. The problem is that they're waiting until they feel ready. And that feeling of being ready, it almost never comes. Because the more you learn about personal finance, the more there is to learn. It can feel like you always need just one more piece of information before you can take the first step. But here's the truth. That search for the perfect plan is quietly doing more damage than any wrong decision ever would. Every month you spend researching instead of acting is a month your money isn't working for you. And that gap between knowing and doing is where most people stay stuck for years. It's not a knowledge problem, it's a starting problem. So what's the fix? It's simpler than you think. A good enough plan that you actually follow will always beat a perfect plan that lives in your head. Think about learning to ride a bike. You could spend months reading about balance, momentum, and how the physics of cycling work. And you'd know a lot. But the moment you actually get on the bike and start pedaling, even if you wobble, even if you fall, you learn more in 10 minutes than you would in months of studying. Investing works the same way. You are going to make small mistakes along the way. Everyone does. But those small mistakes are how you actually learn. They're not failure, they're feedback. The goal isn't to find the perfect move. The goal is to make a move. A calm, simple, informed move, and then let time do its job. Because here's what time does in investing. It compounds. That just means your money starts to grow on top of itself. Small amounts left alone can quietly become significant ones, but only if you start. Let me make this real for you. Imagine 2 people, same age, same income, same desire to do better with money. The first person spends a year researching, reading forums, comparing every investment option available, trying to find the one that's absolutely perfect. After 12 months, they still haven't opened an account, because there's always one more thing to check. The second person spends one afternoon opening a simple investment account. They pick a basic, broad fund, the kind that spreads your money across hundreds of companies, so no single one can sink you. They put in a modest amount and walk away. A year later, person 1 is still researching. Person 2 has already seen their money grow, not dramatically, not overnight, but it's moving. It's building. And now they understand how this works because they've actually lived it. The gap between those 2 people isn't intelligence. It isn't income. It's just one afternoon and one decision. You don't need to have everything figured out before you begin. You don't need to understand every term, every strategy, or every possible scenario. You just need to take one small step in a reasonable direction and let it teach you the rest. There's no perfect time. There's no perfect portfolio. There's just now and the version of you that decides to start anyway. That version of you is already enough. If you're just getting started with money, don't try to do everything. Start here, we've laid it out step by step. And if you want simple money systems you can actually stick to, subscribe to Simple Wealth HQ.